And now the news from the Voice of America. Congress considers Syria attack. Mandela goes home. I'm Christopher Cruz reporting live from the VOA News Center in Washington. The Obama administration on Sunday made ever stronger claims that Syrian forces used deadly sarin gas. Secretary of State John Kerry.
Hair and blood samples that have come to us from individuals who are engaged as first responders in East Damascus, I can report to you today they have tested positive for signatures of sarin.
The Obama administration has said it would ask Congress to approve a strike on Syria. Sunday, Secretary Kerry told reporters he's confident that Congress will, in his words, do what is right. He called the case against Syria overwhelming, and he said the president has the power to act no matter what Congress decides. Congress not expected to discuss the issue until lawmakers return from vacation next week. Some members of Congress were given information from the administration on Sunday about the poison gas attack. An Iranian dissident group and Iraqi officials say clashes and explosions at a camp where the dissidents have killed about 44 of the group's members. The Mujahideen-e-Khalq, known as MEK, and the Iraqi government have given differing versions of the incident. Egyptian state media say ousted President Mohamed Morsi will be tried on charges of inciting violence and murder. He'll reportedly be tried with 14 other suspects. No date has been set for the trial. The charges linked to fighting between Morsi's supporters and opponents outside the presidential palace last December. 7 people were killed. Mr. Morsi hasn't been seen in public since the military ousted him July 3rd. You are listening to the news from the Voice of America in Washington. Nelson Mandela has left a hospital in South Africa's capital, Pretoria. He is now at his home in Johannesburg. The 95-year-old former president had been in the hospital since early June for treatment of a recurring lung infection. He's been in and out of the hospital for the past year. Mac Maharaj is a spokesman for South Africa's president.
We would like to wish him all the best as he continues his recovery at his Johannesburg home. Madiba's condition remains critical and is at times unstable. Nevertheless, his team of doctors is convinced that he will receive the same level of intensive care at his Houghton home that he received in Pretoria.
Mr. Maharaj referring there to Madiba, which is Mr. Mandela's tribal name. People in Goma in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo got some good news over the weekend. M23 rebel soldiers said they were withdrawing from their positions outside the city. The VOA's Gabe Joselo is in Goma.
Despite the rebels' pullback, fighting continued Saturday deeper into M23-held territory, as the army has shown few signs of letting up. The latest round of fighting also has disrupted Rwanda, after shells exploded across the border during fighting last week, killing at least 1 person. The incident prompted angry accusations between the two countries, with both saying the missiles were launched from the other's territory. Rwanda, which has accused the UN mission in DRC, MONUSCO, of turning a blind eye to past cross-border bombings, has called the latest shelling into Rwandan territory a provocation. The UN has presented evidence of Rwandan military links to the M23, and the United States has called on Rwanda to cease its support for the rebels. Kigali has repeatedly denied the accusations. Gabe Joselo, VOA News, Goma.
The television interviewer David Frost has died of a heart attack. He was 74. His family said he died late Saturday on the cruise ship Queen Elizabeth. Just hours after it sailed from a British port, he was to have given a speech during the cruise. David Frost interviewed the world's most powerful and influential people. He is best known for his interviews with disgraced former American President Richard Nixon. More than 5,000 firefighters are battling a massive wildfire in the western American state of California. The fire now expanding into parts of Yosemite National Park. It's the largest fire in the United States this year and the fifth largest California wildfire ever. Mandatory evacuations are in place in at least 2 areas. And a new study published in the journal Nature Climate Change raises questions about food security as the world warms. Experts say some of the most productive farmland in the world is in danger because of climate change. And that is the news at this hour from the Voice of America. You can find more on these and other stories from around the world, around the clock, at voanews.com. I'm Christopher Cruz, VOA News, Washington.